Good afternoon. I am Louis Castriota from Jamaica. I appreciate the opportunity to make my presentation via Skype. Thank you for the invitation to address this August international group of scholars and financiers that will decide to approve grant aid to enhance the special education services in Jamaica. It was a welcome invitation for the Ministry of Education to be asked to make a 9-minute presentation about special education to your conference. As stated by the Ministry, special education in Jamaica is designed to meet the educational needs of children who are identified as having mental, physical, and intellectual capabilities which deviate significantly from the norm expected in their age cohort. Special education was pioneered by private effort, much like other elements in education in Jamaica. Over time, groups established special schools for children with different disabilities and learning disorders. From the first schools of special education in the 1950s, including those operated by the Jamaica Association for the Deaf and the Jamaica Association on Mental Retardation, now called the Jamaica Association on Intellectual Disabilities, to the 1970s when the government began funding special education, and to the present, the efforts continue to improve the delivery of special education to children and youth who are in need. In 1974, the Michael Manley government took financial responsibility for exceptional children and undertook to do several things, including to pay the full recurrent cost of special schools run by disability associations and churches, to build and integrate special education units in primary schools, to train special education teachers, and to appropriately staff the relevant schools and units. Also to establish a center that would diagnose children who have learning problems and to develop appropriate solutions. A key one, to create a special education section within the Ministry of Education to support, promote, and monitor work done in this area. Now, as with so many other things, even though these reforms were responding to advocacy that was rooted in equality of opportunity, there were those who argued against the initiative, saying that the return on the investment in children with learning disability was too low and the government should not spend its money there. There were also parents who did not want their children to be taught alongside children with learning disabilities. Well, thankfully, that did not stop the progress, and in January 1989, the Special Education Unit was opened in the Ministry of Education. It is housed out of the Central Ministry, which therefore means that the officers have to travel far and wide across the island to the different schools and facilities that they work with. The officers, they work with special education schools. You have segregated schools where only children with a learning disability would be. So you would have the School for the Blind, the School of Hope, but then you also have public primary schools that have a special education unit attached to it. You have resource rooms. These are intervention programs that are offered in regular primary and a few secondary schools that help students who they're functioning below their grade level. We have some non-governmental organizations offering special education services. These are private schools that the government buys the spaces in for students. Two such are the Liberty Academy and Genesis Academy. The education unit provides quality assurance, so they monitor curriculum development and implementation. They have oversight for standards and procedures. We also have the technical expertise, the program planning, staff development. We deal with parent sensitization. The unit also provides grants to NGOs that offer special education programs. What happens there is that the grants assist with the payment of salaries for teachers and the special needs coordinators. Our unit also assists with program development and implementation, and we assist with the referral process. Now, The schools are categorized as government-owned or grant-aided. There are also some community-based facilities. They are partially, well, some of them are partially funded by the Jamaican government. It is significant to note that there is at least one special education facility in each of the 14 parishes. We have more than 4,500 students enrolled in these schools and over 200 teachers. Now, those figures, they give us a teacher-pupil ratio ranging from 1 to 5, where you have students with multiple handicapping conditions, to 1 to 16, where you have children with learning disabilities, and also depending on the type and severity of the disability. Currently, however, the educational services offered to children with special needs, they are done through different learning facilities and different means. Some of these include the Listomere Gilby High School for the Deaf and the Windsor School of Special Education. We have the Randolph Lopez School of Hope, and that institution caters to children who have mild, moderate, severe, and profound intellectual disabilities, as well as those suffering with autism. There's the Carberry Court Special School. They deal with mild intellectual disabilities, children who are retarded. And the Abilities Foundation, now that foundation is the only post-secondary training institution for young adults with special needs, and it caters to a wide range of them, including those who are deaf, blind, with physical and intellectual disabilities. We have an institution, the Community-Based Rehabilitation of Jamaica, the CBRJ, and the Clarendon Group for the Disabled. Now, they provide home-based training with a parent component to it. So this is for children who are so severely disabled that they are not able to attend school. What happens here, the parents are taught how to stimulate the children, how to teach them to develop to their fullest potential. Examples, you would teach the parents how to teach them basic self-help skills like feeding themselves and going to the bathroom to do their ablutionary functions. The United Nations and the World Health Organization, they say that between 10 to 15% of all children in school will have a special need. In the progressive approach that has been undertaken by the Ministry of Education to place Jamaica as a country whose treatment of its disabled is to be emulated, we are moving away from just using programs based on best practices and conventions on the rights of the child and Jamaica's Disabilities Act, which incidentally that was passed last year. We have proposed a policy document for the unit's operation that has been submitted to Cabinet for approval. When that approval is given, the unit will formally regulate special education in Jamaica. The special education policy will guide all aspects of the special education mandate. The government will continue as best as it can to appoint special education teachers until all of those students who need the attention have access to these services. We, of course, have been lobbying to get more facilities, the equipment, so that we can enhance the national program. Ladies and gentlemen, an email has been sent to each of you. It has a detailed program, implementation schedule, cost, and expected return over the next decade. The government of Jamaica, the Ministry of Education, and more specifically, the Special Education Unit, and the current and the future generations of children who are disabled and who need this assistance, we all urge you to vote yes. Vote yes to that $10 million grant that will radically modernize and improve access for children with special needs in Jamaica. In wrapping up this presentation, I urge that very special consideration be given to Jamaica's Special Education Unit. It has come a long way in improving care and learning opportunities offered to children and youth with special educational needs, and it will continue to enhance and refine the facilities and programs. But we can do it so much better and so much more rapidly if you say yes to us. Grant us that money and help us to keep the ministry's mantra alive. Every child can learn, every child must learn. Thank you very much.